Time to make the internet explode. Hello everybody, it has been a while and we are here for some more Five Nights at Freddy's content, especially as I believe today is October 27th, which means that the FNAF movie is out worldwide! And I've already seen it because I got it 2 days early, but I saw it on Thursday, which is today, technically, when I'm filming this anyway. God, I'm a chaotic mess. So I've finally seen the FNAF movie, and if you haven't seen on my personal Twitter, I actually took Fredbear with me, and I took a couple of photos of him enjoying his seat and with him in the ticket, which actually ended up on Blumhouse's Instagram story. So thanks, Blumhouse. That's really nice of you. I just did it for fun, just because I thought it was funny that Freddy was seeing Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm such a nerd. Okay, so obviously Five Nights at Freddy's review. Am I gonna spoil it? More than likely this is a spoiler review. I need to get my feelings out there, okay? I just need to talk everything out, okay? I need to do it somehow. Oh, sounds like I need more therapy. But also, because I know people are divided on this movie at the moment, I have seen the reviews, I have seen TikTok, I've seen the whole bloody internet. This is fully my opinion of how I think of the movie, okay? I'm just going to address that as it is because there's a shitstorm. So I'm gonna kind of avoid the shitstorm by just going, this is my opinion, please don't tell me I'm stupid and wrong and everything like that. You can feel like I'm wrong, but at the same time, I feel like, yeah, sure, and if you want to tell me some stuff that's interesting, like, that could just go, actually, Yasmin, there is this point, and then I could agree or disagree, that's fine. Let's deal with things fairly on the internet, please, because I don't know, I just don't want any more. I just don't want to cry over the fact I just shared my opinion on the internet. But then again, I do it most of the time with this bloody podcast. I've done it 100 times. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, one more thing. Spoiler, stamp this bitch. Okay? Fredbear says so. Alright, so kicking things off, I'm just going to start with the actors in general and the characters. So, Abby and Mike, just as an overall family dynamic, I think, because they are the main antagonists of the story. Honestly, everything was done spot on. I think that you've got their connection, you've got Mike having trouble trying to be this parental guardian figure for Abby and just like trying to take care of himself, but also going through a lot of trauma within his head, and that it was going through Abby's head as well. It was all going through everybody, and it was just one of those things where it's like they were able to get through it together and bring it into Five Nights at Freddy's really well. Especially as, like, yes, there's changes to the original lore. I do know some things about the lore, okay? Don't judge me. Because, like, a lot of things about the lore is that, like, I'll get into that later. I'm, like, confusing myself and jumping. Okay, so Mike and Abby, I think they did a really good job with what they had, and just, like, their family dynamic is amazing. And just the environment with what they were going through, especially with Mike going into a lot of dream therapy notes, which was very interesting, and I've never thought about or looked at kind of like what dream therapy is, because like you can hear the word and you can think about it, but you don't actually know what it is until you hear more information. And I think this is kind of like informative. And dream therapy makes sense with the trailers and how they were putting together how he was able to like make a connection with the animatronics, because hang on, why are you guys here when I've gone through this situation where I've just witnessed my brother be kidnapped by somebody and then never found, and I'm just here shouting his name? Like, God, that's traumatizing. And he's always wanted to just go, I want to remember the face. I want to remember who did it. Well, you found out who did it at the end of the movie. William Afton. He's an asshole. We'll get to that later. I'm gonna get on to Vanessa now. Vanessa, I didn't know what to think, because obviously I know Vanessa as Vanny in Security Breach, because Vanessa, Vanny, Security Breach, the Afton programming and the Vanny mask and driving her insane. Yeah, I kind of jumped ahead and found out some stuff about Security Breach because I ended up watching the Ruin play and some of the lore things and understood a bit more, so kudos. I'm still going to play through it on the channel. But anyway, Vanessa being the new connection as William Afton's daughter, that says a lot for new lore, just because I think it was this is me trying to remember, because I think in the old lore his daughter died because of Circus Baby. I think it was when she was trying to reach out for an ice cream and Circus Baby's hatch opened and put Elizabeth, she was named Elizabeth, at the side inside, and William lost his daughter to then losing his son in the bite of 83, I want to say the bite of 83. And then Mike was the last child, I think. I think that's how it went in the old lore, but anyway, I think the rewrite of the lore, I think, is needed because at the same time, you can't wreck or depict everything in the current lore of the game into a couple of movies. Because that would take a fucking TV series to just go, right, let's deep delve. And I think Matt Pat's already recovered most of it anyway. Let's be fair. But Vanessa overall, I think she came around and at the same time is that kind of force of just like, I don't want to do the same things as my dad. Because she's very conflicted, but at the same time, it's like two kind of personalities with just like, you want to do this, you don't want to do this. Like, girl, you should have been straight up and honest with him and just gone, look, there's some serious shit going on. I know you need money, but be careful. There's a lot of ways to get out of the mess, but at the same time, it's a FNAF game. We just walk in and say nothing and just go, you know what, Bonnie? I've had enough of your shit tonight. I'm shutting the door. Get to bed. There was also the other family members, like the aunt. I couldn't stand her. Or, like, I mean, the lawyer, bless him. The lawyer, bless him. Bless his heart and soul. But Aunt Jean, I could not stand her whatsoever, and I just wanted to bitch slap her the entire time. Obviously, the other characters, like Max being the babysitter, which, like, I liked her, just like on the vibe of just like, she's babysitting and taking care of Abby, yay! Oh, wait, she's actually spying intel for the aunt. Ah, oh, for fuck's sake, I liked her. And she went and ruined it by actually spying and seeing that Mike is actually doing a good job. Just because you want to look for criminal intent, love, doesn't mean that you... Oh, the aunt annoyed me so much and it rubbed off into Mac's story and I'm just like, ah. See how this movie made me feel? But honestly, I really enjoyed the characters, especially like seeing the little break-in scene with the like, go get 'em boys, and like there wasn't much backstory into them, but at the same time, just the little break-in scene, just like the context of just like, yeah, they're complete and utter douchebags. And then Max getting caught in the middle, unfortunately, because I don't think she fully had something to do with it and was just like actually adored Mike and Abby, but at the same time, she got caught in it when they were saying to rob the place and unfortunately got very much killed after that. Yeah. And of course, we got to go into Matthew Lillard as Steve Raglan / William Afton. Obviously, they changed his original cover name. I couldn't remember his original cover name. If I find it, I'll put it here. But at the same time, I couldn't remember. Obviously, he gave him the job initially and then comes at the end as the creator because he's just like, yeah, I'm setting this whole thing up and hoping he doesn't get too close. To then appearing as Spring Bonnie and just going, fuck you, and killing. Because William Afton did a lot of scary shit. And he was messed up. He was messed up. I'm curious to what they're gonna do for the stuff that messes him up, because obviously he has a living daughter. So what's the past gonna be like? Especially as one thing I want for a sequel is we've got William, and we've obviously sorted out William Afton's side. We need Henry. We need Henry for the sequel. We need our good old pal Henry, because obviously Henry and William created the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria together, and yeah. Let's have a hope for a sequel for that, but obviously William Afton is dead. Because of the Springlock scene. Now I'm gonna go through my thoughts on the Springlock scene. A lot of people had the opinion that it wasn't gory enough. I don't see the point, because what I get from the games, personally, is that it's a vibe of, you know it happened, but you never saw it happen. And at the same time, you get a lot of before and aftermath, but also with the games, you hear of the horror, and it's mainly directed kind of like when you're at like 12 years old, because the original games are rated 12, yes. And there is a lot that's thrown in there, and everything is kind of like lore and in the background of the game, because you learn about it as you're playing, and it's like a little thing that goes through, and it's just a little game you're playing of just basically guarding the security office and everything like that. But you kind of find out about it as you go along, and it's deep in the background. Same with the Springlock scene. You do get a bit of the gore from the bit that Cupcake chews off, and you see those parts of the Springlock go into his stomach. 100%. That looked like it hurt. And just like, ouch, yeah, that would have. But at the same time, when you look at the Springtrap suit, just overall, it is thick and it looks huge on Matthew Lillard. Like, the shoulders are fully up and you've got the thickness of the arms. Everything is quite, like, thick. And that's kind of the material of a mascot costume as well, because you've got the thickness of the head, and you've got also the thickness of the material, like about kind of that much depth, and then obviously hiding the animatronic parts, as they explained in the movie, so a human could wear it. But yeah, I don't think it needed to be this huge gory scene. I really don't think it needed to be. I think how they did it with showing what it was like on the inside, and then obviously the rest of it you could hear clicking into place, and Matthew Lillard giving a hell of a performance, especially for just like acting like, yeah, it's a painful process, delivering on that 100%. So I think my opinion on the Springlock scene didn't need to be gory. It was perfect the way it is, especially as it was still happening even when he was, I think, in the kitchen, which is where they ended up dragging him, because they were dragging him and it was still going on. And it was still happening, but at the same time, you just wanted them to get the fuck out of there. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to put to rest on my opinion, because a lot of people have said, it's not gory enough, and fighting over whether it should or it shouldn't have. In my opinion, shouldn't have. You got a little taste, and that's all you pretty much needed, because at the same time, with the environment of the games, you kind of want that to be represented on the big screen, because there is a certain like tone you grew up with the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and taking it into the movies kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But speaking of ambience and intense and like terrifying, the overall mood for the movie, you can feel the tension wherever you go. And that's what it was with the movies, because you were just, what it was with the movies? Good God, what it was with the games. I can't even speak on this right now. So what it was with the games a lot of the time is that everything just felt intense. Everything just felt 100. It's why I got nervous to play it as a series, but I decided to put myself through it because at the same time, if my friends can play horror games, then so can I. And it's intense every time you're looking at the camera and you're just like, oh God, there's this. Oh God, I need to shut that door because Bonnie's there. Or like, everything felt intense because you were just like, oh no. You were internally panicking. And there were moments in the movie where I was just like, oh, I can feel the tension. I can just, no. But at the end of the day, I think that the environment that Five Nights at Freddy's presented as a game, it did so in the movie, and I think it's just fantastic and works really well for it. Okay, so going on to the kills. Now, with the kills, same thing with the Springlock scene. I think that, same as the games, you get the before and the after. You don't really get the in-between, apart from Max's, which you kind of see in shadow form, but then you see the other half of the body drop to the floor. Honestly, I thought I would get a bit more jump scared, but one thing I've learned about myself in these movies, because I know the FNAF environment, I've stopped becoming scared of jump scares, and here's the thing. I realized in Security Breach, I just started getting annoyed, apart from the bit with Parts and Services where I was scared the whole entire time because I was looking at weeping angels. But when it comes to the jump scares in the FNAF movie, I just laughed because I knew that the people that were getting killed fully deserved it. Apart from Max, I felt bad for Max's death because she was kind of caught in the middle, but at the same time, it was still so good. And honestly, it was all great, and it showcased the animatronics of just like, okay, you want to mess with our place? We'll mess with you. And they messed them up pretty badly. Yeah, sounds about right. But I'm gonna go on to the animatronics now, actually, because I think that they were done beautifully and everything worked out amazingly with the animatronics, especially as I watched, I think it was Darko's behind the scenes video, as well as a couple of TikToks that had clips of the behind the scenes video, especially with how the animatronics that Jim Henson Company built, fucking hell, they put 110% effort into this. Like 110%. They put all the effort in and they went for it because holy shit, they looked more than good. They looked great. They looked fantastic and phenomenal. Especially with how I saw them work, especially when they were giving all the YouTubers hugs that got to visit the set, and also with how Chica was stroking her cupcake at one point with the behind the scenes bits. Like, they looked so good and so realistic, like humans were actually inside those costumes, like, especially, like, because here's the thing, that's how you'd stroke something if it was, like, I got Fredbear in my hand, this is how I stroke him. Chica was doing the exact same thing with the animatronic version in the behind the scenes video, and it looked so real, and I was just like, oh my god, they put so much effort. Honestly, big up to the Jim Henson Company who built the animatronics and the animatronic suits for the people who wore the suits in the movie as well. Looked so good, so brilliant, and they did an amazing job, so big up to them for that. I think that is 100% a fantastic reason to go and see this movie. Like, enough said and done, just go and see the animatronics and how hard they worked blood, sweat and tears on them. But honestly, like, when you think about what Jim Henson Company's done with building the Muppets and building all the stuff with the Dark Crystal, they've just done it again. They smash it out of the park every single time, and honestly, they've made something iconic out of Five Nights at Freddy's now for Blumhouse, so, like, there you go. More realizations listing and piling up. Now, as someone who doesn't go to see horror movies that much, but does play quite a few horror games, I can do the horror gaming universe because it's just like I'm playing through it and it's just like going through my own experience and stuff like that. Yeah, I was a messed up 15-year-old. But yeah, I think that honestly, it's such a good movie, and like, I am one of those who is always afraid when going into horrors. I haven't watched that many, but mainly have watched Blumhouse in the sense of Happy Death Day. And I think I at one point watched Freaky. I'm not too sure if I remember that. Actually, no, I haven't watched Freaky. No, it's Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. That's what I've watched. I just remember bits of Freaky because I saw it on a recap thingy. But yeah, they're mainly the horror movies I've watched, and they weren't too bad. So going into Five Nights at Freddy's was just like, okay, I'm taking a big step into the jump scare realm. Let's see how this goes. And honestly, the way I saw the jump scares, because I disliked the characters, especially when Aunt Jean got downed by Freddy, Golden Freddy, I was very happy because I was just like, get that bitch off, because I didn't like her. So I was just smiling and giggling through most of them because I was just like, let them get what they deserve. Because as I said about the animatronics, well, I've said this about the animatronics, they are not evil, they are misunderstood. And I was right. Because at the end of the movie, with swapping the pictures, they realise, hang on, we've been helping our killer. Fuck you, let's... Yeah. But overall, I give the movie a 7.5 out of 10, because at the same time, while I acknowledge its flaws, like, there should have been a bit more William Afton 100%, like a bit more Matthew Lillard, like, in total, maybe a couple more Steve Raglan things of just like phone guy, maybe like having a few more phone guy moments, just like, hey, how's it going, have you been doing okay, like he did in the first game. So that would have been nice. And yeah, I think that's kind of one of the main flaws I can point out right now. There's probably a couple more, but I'd have to see it again just to like figure it out. But I wouldn't really, the only thing is I don't really focus on the flaws, I focus on what I enjoyed, and that was the character performances, the animatronics, and just the overall feeling of FNAF. Especially, well done Living Tombstone, your music is in the credits and it's one of my favourite Five Nights at Freddy's songs, and I love it so much. Because there's so many Five Nights at Freddy's songs out there, and obviously Living Tombstone, Five Nights at Freddy's one song is the best one, in my opinion. And hearing it in the credits, and I'm just like, yes. I will go on about a couple of things, because YouTube cameos did happen. Markiplier unfortunately didn't get one because he had some scheduling conflicts, so he couldn't really do it. But hopefully sequels are in this movie's future, I feel, so get him in one of those. The King of Five Nights at Freddy's needs to be bowed to. And then, of course, you had MatPat, because obviously he had the theories, because it's all just a theory. And then Corey being the taxi driver, and all the YouTubers being on the Employee of the Month wall, which was really nice as well. That's all good. But the one thing I did get surprised about was Balloon Boy just appearing in little bits of scenes, which made me just laugh, and I'm just like, for fuck's sake, Balloon Boy. Because he was always the one that was laughing at you in FNAF 2, just because he was in the room and every time you were trying to get past everything. But Balloon Boy was always going to be there, he was always going to be staring at you in that little fucking corner wherever you went. But like, Balloon Boy being a bit more shocking and just like having that little jump scare factor, I found it funny, I loved it. I didn't take it as a serious jump scare because at the end of the day, it's Balloon Boy. He's always going to be around and he's always going to be there to find you if necessary. Especially with the mid-credits scene that came out, which was Corey getting scared of Balloon Boy, which I'm just like, is Balloon Boy going to feature more in the sequel? Because that might be funny. It might be a good opportunity for Balloon Boy. But also, I'm just going to point this out about the end of the movie, because obviously we've gone through a lot of spoilery moments. So the end of the credits, there was like a voice spelling out letters. And what I got out of it was, "Come find me." And I literally said it out loud because I was just like, because everyone was curious, and I just went, it said, "Come find me." I don't think anybody cared after that, but at the same time I was just like, that's what it said. That's what it spelled. It spelled "come find me," which I think might be a sequel thing. Hint, 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 hint. But at the end of it, I enjoyed the FNAF movie. What I mainly wanted out of it was enjoyment. As I say, I will be seeing it again, 100%. Maybe 2 or 3 times. Is it going to be like my contender for top 3 movies of the year? Most likely, yeah, just because obviously I'm not a big horror fan, but at the same time, this was a horror I felt comfortable in, and I felt comfortable to be uncomfortable. It's a weird ideology, but at the same time, you get it. And obviously, I would love to learn more about the game lore, because at the same time, I didn't read the books because I have fair trouble reading. I didn't find any of the graphic novels. If someone ever found me like a audiobook of the books, that would be really handy for me. Then I can just like turn it on and listen to it in the bath, because I do that quite a lot. But overall, 7.5 out of 10. I would want to see the sequel. I want to see so much more, especially going into the sequels. I think we'd get a deeper dive into William Afton a bit more, because obviously we've had the clarification of Abby and Mike having some clarity to their trauma with learning William Afton's responsibility. Now they've got to take care of the ghost of William Afton in the spring Bonnie suit. So there is still a lot to uncover, and there is still a lot to deal with. But as I say, it's just a theory. I don't say it, MatPat does, but you get it. So that is kind of my review on Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I say, it's my opinion. Please don't come at me, internet. I know it's a shitstorm, but at the same time, we're all gonna have our different opinions and be divided. Because if we all had the same opinion in this world, it would be pretty boring. Let's face it. But if you want to see even more reviews, like my last review, which was literally like almost like 5 or 6 months ago now. Back in May, I had the lovely video about Carrie Hope Fletcher's tour, which was my review of her show. If you want to see that, that's over there. Also, me and Wade reviewing Across the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and so many more reviews with the playlist. I hope you enjoyed this video. But if you want to see more Blue Minds reviews, if you want to see me playing some Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which will make a comeback, I swear, even if it means me posting every day, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna have some time. I'm gonna figure it out, I promise. It's just a lot has been taking up my time. As well as Dreamlight Valley, I will get back to that as well. I've just been slowly coastlining to de-stress myself and playing the game a little bit, so you will be caught up on that. Also, if you want to see some more Blue Minds episodes, Lou playing Uncharted, which I believe they are going to get back to, as well as Wade getting back to Mass Effect and his talk on Destiny, which he had a part 1 of last week. He will have a part 2 up at some point, I don't know when. But if you want to see more content on this channel, then please hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, take care guys, enjoy the rest of your time, and make sure that your animatronics or your Fredbears are there to keep you safe. Goodbye.